Like, look at the belly. Like, look at the belly. I am pregnant. So I'm currently 2 months pregnant. Should I say welcome back? Yeah, welcome back, because it's been what, well over 6 months. I haven't posted anything on this channel, but anyway, I'm here to talk about my pregnancy journey, finding out I was pregnant. Let's talk about how I found out I was pregnant. So finding out I was pregnant was not like one ridiculous, like, big thing, you know, like those videos that you see on social media where the couple are constantly checking to see if they are pregnant, or they are constantly trying for a baby. In my own case, we started trying for a child in October. Was it October? I think either September or October, and it wasn't that long and I got pregnant. When I actually found out I was pregnant was in November, when I missed my period, and I decided to wait 1 week. After, if my period doesn't come, then I'm going to buy a PT and check if I was pregnant or not. So it's miraculous gift of a baby. My husband bought one PT like that, and I checked and I was pregnant. And at that point, I remember I was thinking, oh my god, my whole life is about to change. There is nothing I didn't think about. So yeah, that was how I found out. And my husband, because I mean we are always together here, so there was no moment that I was like going to show him the result of the PT, because he was basically there when I was checking. And that was it. I found out I was pregnant, and the journey of 9 months began. My sisters and my brothers, let's talk about the first trimester. My first trimester was a nightmare. I remember I was working full-time. I actually just started a job this year, and I was working full-time, and I would always go to the bathroom to throw up. I think that was the most difficult part of this pregnancy, was my first trimester and towards the end of the pregnancy. So the only thing I have noticed in first trimester, day before yesterday, I threw up. That was the first time, and that was when I threw up at work. It was so funny the way that it happened, and that was how my colleague found out I was pregnant. And then for this entire period, I've just been too tired. I've been too weak. Like, I wake up from sleep and I'm tired. Like, every single time, I'm always tired and I'm always sleeping. It doesn't matter how much I sleep during the day. At night, I am still sleeping. Like, I sleep throughout the entire day. And I don't know how women that already have a toddler, already have a child, and are pregnant, I don't know how they do it. You guys are the super women of this century. Anyway, that's all I've been feeling. My boobs, however, are getting larger and they are getting tender. So that is like the only thing that I've experienced so far. But my stomach is still like not with the program yet. So in my first trimester, I was actively throwing up every single day, and it came at 6 a.m. That was morning sickness. While I was brushing my teeth, even before I had eaten anything, I was constantly throwing up every single day. I couldn't keep food down. I remember there was one day that I was hungry, and I wanted to eat spag. So I made spag and I ate it. Immediately I finished eating that spag, I went to the washroom and I threw up every single thing that I ate. At about my 13th week, I stopped throwing up. I stopped vomiting. And even if I would throw up, it would just come once in a while. It wasn't constant anymore. And my first trimester went by as fast as I can imagine. It was then I decided to talk to my parents and my in-laws that I was pregnant. Anyway, I'm off. tell my family. So I planned this entire thing that I am going to record their reaction and tell them, oh, I'm pregnant, and see how they are going to react to it. It's ringing, but she's not picking up. Nobody's call is going. I decided to call my mother-in-law. The mistake that I made was deciding to call my mother-in-law first. Actually, I had called my mom, but her phone wasn't going through, and because we only have one means of communication, which is WhatsApp, I called her. Her line wasn't going through. I was like, okay, let me call my mother-in-law. I called my mother-in-law and I told her, and she was the happiest person on earth. She was so happy. She was so joyful. I remember she was just singing, she was dancing around, she was clapping that I was pregnant. So before I could reach my mom, my mother-in-law already called her and told her. So the reaction that I was hoping to get from my mom, I didn't get it, because she already reacted when my mother-in-law spoke to her. So I called my sister and I told them, and those are the people that I told. I just told my family, and that was it. So fast forward to my second trimester. Actually, in my second trimester, up to like close to the third trimester, I was still working, and during that period I had an exam to take. I wanted to take some time off from work to focus on the exam. I took about a month and a half from work, and my colleagues, it was only like my partner that knew that I was pregnant, but my other colleagues, my manager didn't know, my other colleagues didn't know, because it was winter period, like it was cold, so I was always wearing hoodie or sweaters and denim, like mom jeans. So like the pregnancy, I think I did a good job at concealing my pregnancy, to the point that when I told my manager that like the reason for me taking some time off is because I'm pregnant and I needed some time to rest and then come back to work, she was like, she read the mail and was like, what, are you kidding me? Like, she did not imagine that I was pregnant at all. Like, nobody thought about it, not my colleagues. It was only my partner and some of my like close friends from work that actually knew that I was expecting a baby, because sometimes I'll just say I want to eat something peppery and they'll just look at me like, are you pregnant? That's how most of them knew that I was expecting a baby. And that was how my second trimester went. And I remember actively eating more and more during the second, third trimester. I wasn't eating like that much in the second trimester, to be honest. It was like towards the third trimester that I developed this huge appetite, and I was always eating and eating. Like, you couldn't even tell me anything at that point. So yeah, that was my second second trimester. Oh, talking about my gender reveal, I have to make a separate video for that. Third trimester, I didn't have any issues in my third trimester, to be honest, except the fact that I was constantly peeing on myself. I didn't know that part came with pregnancy. Like, when I sneeze, I couldn't, like, my pelvic floor was basically weak, very weak, to the extent that when I sneeze or cough, little drops of urine dropped to my panties, and that was like really embarrassing. I remember towards my third trimester, everybody told me, and also the internet, because I was always on my phone, mostly on my phone and scrolling the internet. My explore page was full of pregnancy announcements, what to do when you're pregnant and all that. And to be honest, I let some of those things get to my head, because for example, one of the things that happened was that I had a lot of stretch marks during this pregnancy, which I never imagined was going to happen to me. Because when you're pregnant and they say, oh, don't scratch don't scratch your belly, don't scratch around your belly or whatever, so that you don't get any stretch marks. That's what I did. I did not scratch. So when I woke up one morning, I went to the washroom, and there goes like huge stretch marks by the side of my tummy, like by the side of my waist, around this area. I was like, what the hell is going on? I did not scratch. I did not scratch my body. So what exactly? Like, I was so confused, because everyone was saying if you scratch, that's when you get stretch marks. But I did not scratch. And like, now thinking about it, it didn't make sense to me, because stretch marks is basically what happens when your skin stretches. And my skin stretched a lot. My stomach was big. I added a lot of weight, so I went through a stretching season, right? So it didn't make any sense that it's scratching that will now bring stretch marks. Anyway, so I had stretch marks, and I was just praying that it doesn't extend to so many places, but it did extend around my stomach area, like lower pouch of my uterus. I would say there was stretch marks there, and then around here as well, I had stretch marks almost everywhere around my waist. So, and it made me sad. At some point I stopped looking at the mirror, and I got a couple of lotions, bio oil that would help with the stretch marks. And to be honest, those things, I don't know if it works, to be honest. I developed this huge self-esteem issues. I was like, my husband was like, oh, you're the most beautiful woman. Like, oh, okay, but these stretch marks were not there when I got pregnant. And he was also saying things like, oh, it's going to disappear when you give birth, but I know that's a lie. Anyway, so I managed to pull through that. I did not have any hypertension in pregnancy. I didn't have any gestational diabetes, other than all the things that I said now. My pregnancy journey was actually a very smooth one. I did not swell, so I didn't swell up so big that people couldn't recognize me. My nose, I remember this nose one. Let me tell you people about it, because a lot of people were praying. My friends were praying that I'll have big nose, but to their greatest surprise, to the glory of God and to the shame of the devil, my nose remained exactly the same. My neck remained exactly the same. There was no discoloration whatsoever. My nose was exactly the same. I did not immediately turn dark. The only thing that happened though was that my face got bigger and everywhere was swollen, to be honest. But that was all that happened, and I did not have any issues. Like, aside from these things that I mentioned, there was nothing that I would say that, oh, maybe one day I was rushed to the hospital, there was an emergency. I didn't have any of that, and the pregnancy journey was such a smooth one, and I can't thank God enough for that. Guys, today is the day that we're doing another gender reveal.